I was supposed to be talking about fair reports this morning. Who's in the banking world right now? Anyone from here who's in banking? Okay. And okay, but anyone who's in here who's running a company or who's working for a company? I know somebody is working for the city. So I will go ahead and show you something that's pretty interesting here. Let me go here, 1 second. And okay. So we're supposed to be talking about fair reports. So fair report, a company's vendors have different levels of importance. A vendor that does not have access to any systems or confidential data will have lower risk than that of a vendor offering CRM services. So the fair model allows us to give a vendor business impact. So the loss magnitude, what is the loss magnitude of a company in risk calculation? Thus, we calculate the risk only from the technical side, but also from the financial perspective. So here what we are trying to do is, FAIR proposes a model of calculating risk. And I know sometimes we don't think, most people, they don't want to think through risk. But in the event of frequency, this model uses loss event frequency and loss magnitude to calculate the risk. So loss magnitude basically answers the question, what will be the impact if there is a breach? So while loss event frequency calculates the likelihood of a breach. So in other words, it is possible to consider a formula of risk equals, what is LEF? Loss event frequency times loss magnitude. So I did a fair report for a bank, and in the event that they had a breach, this is their loss magnitude, and this is what they are secondary. First of all, we have a loss magnitude and the primary loss and the secondary loss. Now, I think earlier on when we had our other sessions, we also had a situation where I did run a scorecard on a company. And when we ran a scorecard, a cyber risk scorecard, we are basically looking at their vulnerabilities. And with that vulnerabilities, one of the compliance issues that we have, one of the things that we have had, that Normshield added to their infrastructure, is the FAIR report. Now, their FAIR report is now become the prominent gold standard of measuring, in case of a breach, what would happen and how, in monetary terms, how much is it going to cost? So, and then what are the other remediation solutions do we have that could help the company not to have a breach? So the probability of action is 7.1%. The threat capability is 31%. The resistance, 64%. Now, a secondary loss, if they how much loss as a result of a secondary stakeholder? $2 million. Now you will ask me, Ricky, how did you know this $2 million? So, when we do a cyber risk assessment, we are able to collect all information about this company. Their financial reports, their annual reports, and all kinds of stuff. So with that, FAIR report has to, using their own formulas, they are able to make this assessment and they are able to come up with these numbers. Now, these numbers are good for management because management will look at this and the boss will say, oh, I think if this is all the money that we have, in case of a breach, would collapse and will close down. So what do we do so that we don't get a breach? Do we need more IT people? Do we need cybersecurity training? So here's the deal. The factors of controls. When you look at this, the factors of control that are suggested, incident reports team, a company needs to come up with one and put that in place. Employee training, a company needs to do employee training, put that in place. Use of security analytics, the company needs to do that. Insurance protection. So if you have a breach and you don't have insurance protection, then you are closing. CISO appointed, you need to have, if you don't have one, Chief Security Information Officer, CPO, and lost or stolen devices. So sometimes when you work for a company and you lost your phone, that's a big deal because the phone in itself, if somebody is able to get that, they're able to get a lot of information. So some people that work for companies, what they do is they have a phone that the company gave to them and they have emails and everything that they have to answer on the phone, and all of a sudden they go for a party and then they lose the phone. Guess what? They have lost the phone. The phone has been taken by a cyber criminal who will go and take all the information and use that information against you. Now that person might say, I lost the phone. I'll go to work and tell them on Monday when I get to work. Now that's Friday or that's Saturday. Guess what? Somebody behind the scenes is working, and by Monday, when the person is going to report, something already has happened. So these are things that we need to be aware of in cybersecurity, and these are things that can help protect the company. Because if I don't report those things, guess what? If my company happens to have a breach and they lose so much money, I lose the job. They close. If it's a small company, we're losing $2 million and we don't make so much money, we have a problem. So pretty much these are some of the things that I wanted to talk about regarding fair reports. And fair reports can be generated using our comprehensive scorecards. So you can print this and share with management if you are the CFO, and the CFO can have access to this infrastructure. So our reports can be generated from this, and any one of these can be looked into by anyone. Now, if anybody has a question, first of all, before I go to.
Thanks, Ricky. I think this is an interesting tool. We were actually just talking in the other room earlier.
Yes.
In the robotic process automation session about risk calculators.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted to come into this risk calculator. My question is, behind each of these categories, are there typical questions, typical probes that a company could use to self-administer this tool, or how would you practically go from a blank page to a score, to a number?
Yes. So I can do. I'll start. I think I did a cyber risk scorecard for some of the guys that were here earlier on. But behind this, let me pull. Let me do this. I'll do an internal stakeholder report, so that you will have. We can have. Now, we can have a deep dive into. So, our cyber risk scorecard, we measure the safeguard, privacy, resiliency, and reputation of the company. So behind all that, behind A safeguard privacy, resilience, and reputation is all these boxes with brand monitoring to web ranking. Now, usually I don't get to worry about web ranking if the organization is not doing sales online and stuff like that. But I worry if at all their credential management is not good, if their website security is not good. Now, I can click on website security right now. And what our infrastructure is able to do is I'm able to identify vulnerabilities. And these are the vulnerabilities on website security. There are performance issues, there are security headers, there are patch levels that need to be looked into. So I can go there and this is what they have. Now, our infrastructure, this is a summary because I pulled a stakeholder report. Our infrastructure, much as we identify vulnerabilities, we also provide remediation to all the vulnerabilities that we identify. Okay, please go ahead. So we provide remediation on the security headers. First of all, we give you all these vulnerabilities, but then at the same time, we show you how to solve these vulnerabilities. If you see that, you find that there's a vulnerability on, this is the possible vulnerabilities on security headers. And when you go down on the possible vulnerabilities, you also see the mitigation. So what happens is the IT guy has been given solutions and references on how to mitigate the problem.
Okay. But to identify the problem in the first instance?
Yes.
What is your methodology for identifying it in the first place?
Our methodology, I'll go back to you. Would run a scorecard. So can I run a scorecard on any one of the companies that you know? Who are your clients? Give me one of your best clients.
Sure, there are many. Sanlam.
Sanlam, do you know their website? www.sanlam.co.za. Okay, so usually what any company in cybersecurity reconnaissance will tell you, when you go to say, hey, our client is Sanlam, and we are deciding to do business with them, they'll tell you, okay, and you need to know their cybersecurity posture before you get to do business with them. Most companies, they'll tell you, okay, give us information on them, we'll look into it, come tomorrow, and we'll give you the information on their cybersecurity posture. But when you come to me, I'll tell you, give me their website, and I'll give you their cybersecurity posture. Within 60 seconds, I'll be able to pull as much information. Now, within 2 hours, I'll be able to pull all the information about them. And you can share it with them, and they can come back to us and tell us where most of the time we are totally right. So, I know I have. So, with this, I'll go ahead and run a 60-second cybersecurity scorecard. So within 60 seconds, you'll be able to see their vulnerabilities as your client. Now, if they are your third-party client, guess what? If they are vulnerable, I'll guarantee you, your business is as strong as them being that weak. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is I know a company that was hacked because they are not because they are weak, They are a massive multi-billion-dollar company. But because they are HVAC company, which does their air conditioning, had vulnerabilities and was weak. So within the 60 seconds, Sanlam will be able to pull out their cybersecurity posture, and you'll be able to see how they are positioned. And I think their footprint is definitely big. That's why we are even going that far. So you'll be able to know where they are and how they are able to, they are featured. And then with that, with their security vulnerabilities, you'll be able to share with them. And that's not a very good scorecard, but it's, yeah. If my child comes to say, Dad, I had a C, I'm like, no. You want to be an astronaut? No. So,
Ricky, technically, what are we looking at? So what is it doing in the background? Is it just a data scrape? Is it just a search? What is it doing? How do you get to what is the
It searches everything in the public domain.
yes.
Everything that IP.
I'm gonna leave because I'm going for something.
No, you can stay. I'll
But he's gonna take over.
I'll take over some of the dashboards. I'll just show you some.
Yes.
Is this talk ending? Did I come in at the end?
No, it's not. It's not ending. Please.
Okay.
Yes. Good to meet you. And
Laureen.
global. Perfect. Let me give you my card. Oh yes.
But thank you for showing me what
Oh,
you're doing.
absolutely. Let me.
I'll just show you the dashboard and just show you a few things before we go. Yeah.
Oh, that's not a pocket, sorry. Can I just throw it in there? And done. Just put the wire in your pocket, then it's out of your way.
Sure, no worries. Okay. All right, so basically what this does, it shows you everything in the public domain, right? So there's two scorecards. The first one is the rapid scorecard, which Ricky has shown. So let me just get it on quickly. So how it works is your question around what it takes. So everything, all services or anything around the network that's exposed, your IP, it will basically search for that information. And the fact that Normshield has a registered view of all the domains, it helps because they pick up the registered domain in the public space. So that's basically how it works. So if you want to, there's obviously private services, like if you have your IP on a private network, what you'll need to do is first access this application, and then you have to configure the private application. So on your dashboard, you'll see then all your aspects. So what this is saying, right? Anything under B is normally not good, right? Because it needs to be mostly. It tells you here that it's a top 37% in the globe. It is positive, but if you look at the patch management, right? If you look at the leak credentials, now if you look at Sanlam, they're also I'm not sure they do transactional banking, financial services. I don't think they do, but I used to work for Sanlam, so they have a lot of subsidiaries, brokers, right? And brokers does the transactional on their behalf. So in this case, I don't know, do you work for Sanlam?
No, I don't. They're one of our clients.
Oh, they're one of your clients. Okay. So what this would be is, if Sanlam is one of your clients, you can use any client. You can test any of your potential clients.
Correct, and that's why Ricky said, give me one of your clients. And I thought,
Yeah. So what is nice here is you can pull this report out, and if I just go down, let me show you quickly, right? This creates a little bit of a dashboard. So if I go down and I say, let me check what my patch management is. So I can basically see, okay, but now it's red, but what is it, right?
yes.
So if I go into the description, you see here, the red stuff, the dark red stuff is quite urgent. It shows you that there's vulnerabilities, and it also gives you exactly which asset, which system, and also gives you a description to say, like, for example, a remote code execution vulnerability exists. It tells you where, it tells you exactly the unique location and so forth for this. So this could be sent to your IT manager and say, guys, do you know about this? Can you just action this? And that's what's quite important in the Sanlam space. You see now some is red, orange, and some is yellow. So it helps to also highlight the severity of the vulnerability. As you can see here, you can see the IP address. You can also see this one is not a Windows server. This is a Apache server now. So now it's going on different technology locations. So these are green, so we know it's important, but it needs to be addressed. So the audit will look at this and say, okay, it's green, it's not critical, but when will it be resolved? And then it says at the bottom here, that's the risk, but here's the recommended remediation as well, which is quite nice. But this needs to be followed through by your staff member, and they need to look at what exactly is the solution. This is really a guide, but they need to look at by taking the description of the vulnerability and actually addressing that. Okay, so if you see a B here, this says this is fine. There's nothing really to worry about. There's a warning, really. Everything else is passed. Merely this is alerts. If you look at it as an alert, you could just look at it and say, okay, obviously if you're going to go through this report, you're going to go through all of them and make sure you cover them so that what could happen, they're a B now, you don't want them to become a C, right? So you'll address the Bs now so that they become an A rather than a C. So in a nutshell, what is nice about this is you actually have access to pull this out on a report, and you can show this to management. Leak credentials, let's click that and see what's going on there. Now phishing is a big thing. Now it shows you these are the mails that has been leaked or has been impacted. Can we just check these mails out? Can we run a few scans on the mails and see there the password is plain. So it says there that they have a very weak password, that they have to change it, for example. So this is now... This is looking at the public domain.
Not looking at the intranet.
No.
The actual.
Remember.
Inside the firewall. This is looking outside.
This is looking outside because that we don't have access to it. If we get access to it, then we can actually do that because we don't have controls to actually get into the public or private environment. You can, yeah.
But if you wanted to look, you could use the same tool.
No, you use the same tool. You just have to configure basically the IPs that you want. Ricky actually knows, he hasn't showed it here, but there's a way to actually do it. But then once you get subscription to it, and then you obviously have full access to it, anybody can use it basically, from a IT manager, security manager. What is nice about this when I spoke to the gentleman outside, you don't need a security officer for this. This you can have your IT manager to do this. If you're a small organization and you want to use this, you just basically have your IT manager to address it. You say, these are the issues, can you sort it out? Can you action it? Once it's actioned, you then come back and say, okay, is everything okay? What is it? So, no, go for it. Please start.
How does, so there's got to be some level of clearance that allows you to go in, use what, we could have said standard bank, we could have said anyone, but it allows you to go and search for the scorecard, the 60-second scorecard.
Yeah. You want to give me another one of your clients?
So my question is more about, do you need permission from Sanlam to have anyone able to pull their cybersecurity risk scorecard that isn't even in Sanlam at the moment? So when you give someone,
this is a confidentiality of information now. So you need to ask them. Yeah, you need to say to them, I've got a scorecard. That's a good question. I think I need to ask. We need to look at it from an act perspective because we can't pull people's information out without the consent.
Correct, but yet people's emails are not in the report here, so there's already a copy violation. So my question is, if I buy this for my company,
yes,
and I provide it as a service, or I want to,
you need to let you need to let your clients know that you've got a proactive risk tool that will pull public information out. And obviously, what needs to happen is they need to give you consent for you to give them that information, to use the tool, possibly. But what you could do is you'll know information that they don't know about, right? So if you want to take them on as a broker, before even they do that, right? You would run the scan and say, let me just check this broker X and see, and see what this is about. And if this broker X comes out and he's vulnerable, then you don't have to even persuade to go. You can action there and then. I don't want to go with this broker because of, he's got these vulnerabilities. So you don't have to share that information with him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I guess my question is quite different to that. So maybe my question is,
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to use Normshield, your product.
Normshield is the product, correct.
Okay,
That's right. That's the software tool. It's a branded product, correct, yeah.
Which means, by definition, there is a sales model. People can buy it through either subscription or licensing services.
That's how it works. It works with the subscription model, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
So somebody, whoever, buys Normshield. At that point in time, because they are paying subscriber
For that service,
for the 60-second
information, report, yeah.
trend report, are they able to then search anybody and any entity? And how legal is it if that entity
So-
has not given permission?
So Ricky, the question around compliance has come in. Can we share the information from a POPI Act perspective?
Look, first of all, you see, cybersecurity information is very sensitive information. Now, you give me an example of Sanlam. You are not a Sanlam anymore, but you are connected to Sanlam because you are either a client or you do business with them. So technically, they are a third party connected to you, and as such, you're able to share with them the information that you have found about their cybersecurity posture. And because you are able to share with because you have that information, you can share with them that so that they are able to know. So there's totally nothing wrong. There's 100% nothing wrong with you sharing that information with them. Now, in your process of doing business, there will be other companies. When you are trying to target companies, I want to go and start dealing in fish or sugar. You identify 3 sugar refineries in companies that you think would be your possible clients. First thing first, you do an audit report about their cybersecurity posture. You get that information, and you get if you find serious vulnerabilities, you share with them the reports. Hey guys, this is what now. Usually, IT guys would be like, "Oh, this is what you have. Who gave you this?" Because they don't want other people to know.
Yeah, so for me, there's a question about right to know, and a question about the person that knows whether the intent is malevolent, or benevolent or malicious. So if I buy subscription,
Sure.
what vetting do you do to know that I'm using it for benevolent purposes? Because I may be doing it not to go to Sanlam and say, hey, I put an insurance with you, I don't like the fact that, I pay for my insurance premium or whatever, and you're my insurer, but yet I see you've got these vulnerabilities, I'm worried about it. I may actually be a cyber criminal, and I can see
Could be.
there were 5 emails there that are high risk with the people's names, and it says they have a plain password. I can say, thank you, here's my door in, and now you've given me access I wouldn't have had before.
100%.
How do you guys vet that in your clients? Have you done that yet?
First of all, you see, what we are providing is a tool. That tool helps you see what the hackers, what the bad guys are seeing. Because we are able to put together all kinds of information, and we tell you, hey, this is what the bad people are seeing. And if this is out there, you need to be careful. Now,
but the question is, the consent is how do we manage the consent and give the information?
How do we manage? Do we sell it to hackers so that they can be hacking other people, No, we have contracts that we put together when we are selling our infrastructure. And through those contracts, it lays out all the things that we have to lay out. So that when somebody comes to us to buy this infrastructure, they agree. So we don't, this is not infrastructure that you can just go and say, okay, I'm at the store, hey, give me this, I got it. No. You are responsible and liable for this kind of information that you're buying from us. And there's all kinds, in black and white, you have a pretty nice 2-page contract that they sign, so that we provide them information. They're not going to be going out to use it against, to be bad people. And if they decide to use it to be bad people, they are liable and they will be in trouble.
Yeah, so it's a responsibility of the person taking on this tool to manage that information the way it should be managed and not use it in the wrong way.
That's contrary to the Act, though. So the Act says Sanlam should have given consent for us to have this information here today.
No.
And they haven't. And that's what Papaya says. So, hence my question. So, I mean,
But the question is, remember, this information is in the public domain.
Yes.
So if it's in the public domain, yeah. But I'm just saying, if it's in the public domain in terms of, and that's the other question. If it's not in the public domain, it creates another level of complexity.
Yes.
Right. So just think about
it. We collect all the information on public domain, and we didn't touch Sanlam, but we packaged everything in a way that we figured out all the vulnerabilities and everything, and we have put it all together. Now, one would say, hey, Sanlam, in fact, Sanlam would be excited to say, oh, thank God you've given us the things that we don't know. Hey, can we take care of this? Yeah, look, I understand cybersecurity is a very complex stuff, and people need to take care of everything, but we all have a responsibility. Sanlam has a responsibility to the customer that they serve. And the responsibility, if at all they are customers, and if they are third parties, every one of them, all of us, we have a responsibility to anyone who's network.
So the ability for this tool is, say, if we use this tool, what stops us from taking it to Sanlam and say, Sanlam, we know this. Do you want to use it? Do you want to get the information so you're more proactive around that? So that's the whole process of being proactive. You know what I mean?
Exactly, and I think that's the sales model I was trying to get. What is the sales model? So if I summarize, it sounds like, and I know this isn't this example, from a cybersecurity point of view, this is like that magic tool that the credit bureau would love to have, but they kind of don't. But they're looking for credit worthiness.
Yes.
And I know there are a couple of guys that saying credit score, they advertise on TV and so on.
It's the same model. It's the same type of model that the information, the way they package information, the credit guys need. You know what I mean?
It's a similar model. The difference is, I think with the credit bureau, at all times, whether it's a potential employer or even a potential client, they need to say to me, hey, we would like to get your credit worthiness. Do we have your permission?
Yes.
And if I say no, it goes down the consequences, because then Ricky's going to say, hey, I met Lorraine the other day. I thought she was a great partner for us. And when I said, can I do a check? She said no. So you can't do it, because if you do, it's against the law. But the fact that she said no, you can interpret in many ways. And actually it's detrimental, really, for people to say no. But the tool's available, and I see this in that space. It's a tool for good, but you have to.
But remember how data works, right? You've got data, you've got information, you've got knowledge and wisdom, right? You're trying to get to the wisdom level so you can be more proactive. This allows you to get more wisdom and more data. It's information. So how you get that is now get information so you can proactive. So if you want to take another broker on, or two brokers, you're going to do all your due diligence, you're going to check everything. This is another checkpoint to make sure that,
I'll phone him and say, hey, Ricky, I know that
Yeah,
Sunday,
yeah.
I have a tool.
Yeah.
It's not creditworthiness, but it's cybersecurity.
Correct.
And
Correct.
can I have your consent to
Yes.
run you through the tool?
Absolutely.
Because I want to make sure because I'm investing my money.
So you're covering your tracks, correct? You're covering your tracks, right?
Build it into your tool.
Yeah.
I think it's going to make your tool so much more
Yeah.
appealing and robust, and
Yeah.
it will be irresistible then.
Yeah.
Because I don't think any company will say, I don't want my information and my clients. And in fact,
So-
drive them to use the tool
So,
to get a higher
so
score.
at the moment, what Ricky is saying is that it's based in the contract that you put that in, but maybe you want to automate that on the tool, right? And
I think you can make this tool irresistible
Yeah.
by saying you can go past this point if you've got consent. Click here if you've got consent. Then the onus is on that person. But also, if you tell the company, hey, we've got this, we've got all of how many insurers, and people are paying death policies and whatever, they want to know that the money's credible in a good place. They're going to check you out.
Yes, yes.
It's available. And they will want to get off 74, trust me. They will want to get to like 80,
85,
and
yeah.
they want to use the tool. So I'm seeing a lot of potential if we just close the ethical gap. Really.
Let me tell you something regarding the ethical gap. You see, when you look at the ethical gap from his standpoint, or from the standpoint, you would start thinking, okay, yes, is it ethical? In the United States, we've got an organization called Experian. It's a credit. I think they are probably here too.
Yeah, we've also got something similar. Yeah. TransUnion. We've got TransUnion. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Experian was hacked. And all the data, information about my credit
Exactly.
Was exposed.
was exposed.
Yes.
So, when you're talking about ethics, you see, that also applies to me. What they did was wrong. The next thing is they allowed all kinds of vulnerabilities. And the next thing, all my information is stolen. My credit, my information is out there in the dark world. People are making credit cards out of my information. And then the one thing that they want to come to me is, hey, we can provide you credit monitoring for 3 years or 2 years. No. So, see, ethics go both ways.
They go always.
Absolutely.
Every state.
That's right.
So there is absolutely, I would not try and look at it. It's self-defense. I gotta look out for myself
Yeah.
before somebody else
Yes.
takes
That's
into,
right.
takes my stuff and controls my stuff. So I will run. I have the right to go ahead right now and run a scorecard on Experian, just to make sure, because they have my information. I got the right now to run a scorecard on the insurance company. I don't even need to tell them that, hey, I'm doing this. But if I find something there, I'm like, hey, what's this? You better do something about this. Now, if I intend to do some business with Sanlam, by all means, I don't even need to ask them. I'll run a scorecard and I'll make a judgment to say, is this what I need to work with? Or is this what I don't need to work with? Because you have to have standards. So
I agree with, as a vulnerable person who's buying the insurance, I agree from my viewpoint, but I also believe that no one person's right is better than the others. That's what ethics is about.
Absolutely.
So I think there's a beautiful opportunity here, literally, to take one step and make it even more, I think the word is irresistible.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's not wrong, it's great, but irresistible.
Well, just to comply against the Poppy Act. In other words.
It doesn't, but the fact that I could see
Yeah.
internal workers' emails on here
Yeah.
is great. I could have searched for it on the internet.
Yeah.
The minute I put it in a report and I present it now to my management, then I've broken the law. And I think that's the step. you
That's
know.
it. Let me just.
I absolutely love the tool. What's a subscription for this?
Ricky's going to give you that now. It's basically a 6 month to a year subscription. I'm sure Ricky will give you the details. Now, Ricky, just on the subscription model prices.
Subscription to this thing.
Oh, yes, it depends. If I told you are doing rapid scorecard or you get a comprehensive scorecard. So for rapid scorecards, you would run a rapid scorecard for less than a couple of $100, maybe even $40, $30. Now, for comprehensive scorecards, it would probably go between $3,000 and $10,000. Now, that is annual subscriptions.
Annual subscriptions, right?
Yes. So pretty much you have that.
So there's an anniversary date, and on the anniversary is a renewal.
Yes, and you know, cybersecurity scorecards like this, you run them. Maybe it depends the rate at which you do your business. You could be running them. If I told you the vulnerabilities are too many, weekly. You could be running them monthly.
Yeah.
You could be running them every 2 months. So you could run this all the time and understand your vulnerabilities. And once you understand that, then you're keeping yourself abreast of that. Now, the one thing that I've been encouraging everybody on is cybersecurity training. Because all this stuff that we're talking about is it has a lot more to do with cybersecurity training. And we offer cybersecurity training. We've got a platform for that.
Right.
So,
e-platform,
Where is it now? I think we've got.
If you go to the cybersecurity training is right here.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
I wanted to ask another question about the rapid scorecard.
Yes.
Does it only allow you to look at companies or any legal entity, even natural persons?
Natural persons, do they have a website?
They need to have a physical URL. You have to have a URL, a valid URL, basically.
They have a URL,
Yeah.
yes. But you can't use it for, say you want to check out Ricky. You can't use it for that. But you have to check on companies with a footprint somewhere that they're creating.
Okay, so it makes sure that it excludes individuals. Is that built into the program? Because that could be problematic. Or does it not?
No.
No,
No.
it's not looking at individuals.
Yeah.
But if an individual, say the managing director of FNB has their email stolen and it's out there for sale on the dark web, we would be able to pick it up and we'll be able to show that the FNB bank director's email is right here.
Those are the ones that I showed you earlier, with those 4 mails that was patched. Those are the ones.
And then, now imagine this, FNB bank, your bank in Johannesburg, you go to your bank, you talk to your bank manager, and his name is Ricky. And all of a sudden, you receive an email, you just get back home, and I'm telling you, hey, thanks for visiting us. By the way, there are things that we just realized we didn't finish, and I've attached them on this link. Please click here, and you'll be able to finish. You know you have got a couple of $1,000, a couple of things. You'll be like, oh my God, it's Ricky. But the moment you click,
Phishing.
That's the big problem.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
That's the biggest problem here in South Africa.
so you will have that information readily on this, so that you'll be able to say, I know Ricky wouldn't send me this, but if I told Ricky's email has been stolen, you need it in there so that you see and say, oh my God. And then I tell FNB Bank, hey guys, now we did a scorecard on one of the companies here recently. They had a cyber fraud.
Yeah.
And guess what? We helped them narrow down, and we found the problem was with the bank. And they took that scorecard and
So-
sent it to the bank. Said, hey guys, this is it. So hopefully the bank will be reaching out to us. Because our infrastructure is solid.
Yeah. So there was there's a company in South Africa, and if you can disclose the company, Ricky, that I think they were on carte blanche and stuff like that. They had problems in terms of cyber hack, and they lost a lot of money.
Yes.
And if Ricky, you can decide if you need to can disclose it.
No, I don't want to disclose
Okay, so you don't have to disclose it. But Ricky and them helped the company in South Africa to find out what caused that hack. And that was amazing to say, nobody could help them. Eventually looked at the trail, looked at everything, and eventually, picked it up and said, this is where it's come from. After.
You were going to show me the e-learning.
Oh, the Sorry, I wanted to show you that because that's also pretty interesting. So this is what we have, huh? I'm gonna go here.
New window, okay.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go there. So I already logged in here, and we have courses that we are providing to.
Check it, Rick.
Oh. Oh, okay, good. So, we have courses that we are providing to companies, even to cities, even to communities. And one of the things that I intend to do here in South Africa is we intend to see how we can start narrowing these things to even local languages, so that our people can just start learning these things very clearly. Because we are going to be Africa-centered. We're not just going to say, hey, because I'm from America, we want to make sure we speak Zulu where it's required for us to speak Zulu. You see? So these are some of the courses that there could be some others. Avoiding identity theft, avoiding dealing with documents, dealing with spyware, defend yourself against viruses, information retention and distraction. Because people just throw out information without knowing that I can come out. You see, you can go at people's yards. You can literally pick out something. So, cybersecurity is crazy. You see, I'll give you an example. I'm eating a chewing gum, right? I take it out and I spit it. I guarantee you nobody is going to pick it up and put it in their mouth. But I'll get what is this? I'll get a flash drive, right? And I'll throw it somewhere deliberately, and I'll walk out. Guess what? Somebody will come in here, especially one of these guys. They'll be like, oh my God, oh, somebody left this. Yeah. Oh, let me pick it up. But who do we know? Who's the owner? They pick it up. Who's the owner of this? We want to know. And they pick it. They go into one of the hotels right here, or they go into all that. They have got access. It could be somebody's important. Or you could have some music, oh, this one looks really nice. And they put it in a computer. Right in the second that they put it in a computer, malicious code goes through, and we are in the whole system.
And it's something basic, I bet people don't think twice. Which is why I love this. This is and the training is easy enough for kids to understand as well as adults.
Schools everywhere. So
And this platform is also subscription based.
Also track your staff, whether they
Sure.
so
Yes.
you can also correct this in induction when you come in as an employee.
So let me so let me go. I'll go to security awareness. I'll click on that so that you see the courses, how it's run. So each individual, I did do presentation on this, so I'll go ahead and resume. So the volume is kind of soft, but you can hear. So yeah, the setting is very. Yeah, the volume is very soft. So each individual person who has access to a computer, guess what? they will have access to this training, and weekly or monthly, they will have training like this. And then the IT person in charge of that company, human resource, it will be in the human resource department, on the back end, will be able to see that John logged in, he already went through the course, and it has an exam at the end, and he already did 10 questions, and he had 4 correct, and 6 of them are incorrect. So he's not doing good on security awareness. So we need to visit him. He will send a letter an email to human resource, and human resource and the IT will be like, okay, why is it? They'll go sit down with John and say, hey, John, what is the problem? Why are you having a problem with this? Or where didn't you understand? And he will say, okay, I didn't understand. Now, he will not peruse through this course just because. He will peruse this course, and it will not allow him to just go through before he listens to the whole thing. Until he listens to it, he won't just go. Because there will be...
What is nice about this is when an employee really starts.
Yes.
It's part of your employee process. You go through that training induction. You normally have a half a day. You have to do this before you sign your contract.
Yes.
So that's the type of thing that needs to be adopted.
And for maybe less than probably $1,000 or $2,000, you'd get maybe these courses go for even as little as 15. We charge these based on the numbers of employees, the users. So if you have more users, you can even have a course for as little as $14 or $9 per year. What is $9 and $14 per year when you are protecting $20 million, when you are protecting $5 million, when you are protecting even $10,000? That's totally peanuts. So this is basically what you would have. Now, there is something more that I can show you. There are courses on cell phone. Oh, I gotta go back here. So, using information security awareness courses, avoiding identity theft, data records retention, email security, social engineering methods, and social media. Social media is targeted towards young people as well. You see, young people are always using social media, but they don't understand it. Yeah. Cyberbullying, all that. They would go in there and they would click and they will start. So, literally click to, use once. So, these are the kind of information and stuff that we have. Sorry, it's going to load shortly, and you'll be able to see the infrastructure.
I think that's excellent. How long have you guys been around, Ricky?
Oh, we just came.
just resurfaced.
So you started in SA
Ricky
this minute.
Ricky has come last week. I'm helping Ricky to help to pull traction in South Africa based on the platform that I have. It's important that we have somebody that's local in South Africa, because you need to understand the issues, the challenges. We've spoken to a couple of CIOs already. Each of them have different issues.
Yes, of course.
So some of them have, they don't have a CISO, so they have IT managers. So what are their models? We spoke to an insurance company probably last week. He's got about 144 brokers, but he wants to use it for 20 brokers. Right? And he wants to have a dashboard to check for vulnerability. So you know simple things. You go to the dashboard, says yes, I think I know that. And that was good. So we give information that you could. But the question is, in this 6 months, is that picture going to say or not? If you're going to use the tool, it will help you to get to that level. So what we discussed was that picture is not look the same. So how do we keep that picture the same or even improve?
So, this is social media. So the course is broken into 3 sections. It covers explanation of social media and the value if it brings to business, threats and risks, vulnerabilities inherent in the technologies, information regarding compliance, penalties and fines, social media and cybercrime, threats and malware, how to safely engage in social media without putting yourself and your organization at risk. So this is the kind of information that you have available, and each one of your employees, they will have to go through this. Because let me tell you about social media. You are in a manufacturing company. I want to bring a processing plant, same kind as you. I know him, he works in your manufacturing company. He has got Facebook. He's always on Facebook when he's working and he's waiting. How about hacking that person, and I view all the processes in that system, and I have everything it takes to make things happen. These things happen. I don't, so our vulnerabilities, our people are always, I'm at work, and they take a picture at work with their buddies. Guess what? In the background, there's this machinery, sophisticated, but I know it was made by Caterpillar. And probably that's what makes you unique, because, and all of a sudden, he has given just information to another competitor. So, there is so much in social media that people have to learn about. And our people, now, I'll give you a very terrible example. I don't have Facebook myself. I have Twitter and I have LinkedIn. And LinkedIn was recently out. But if you have Facebook and you have your children, they are in the kitchen, they take a picture. Oh, this meal is really nice. It looks pretty. Boop. And they put it in the kitchen with mommy. We're making a souffle. You're in the living room watching a movie. Click. In the living room, we are having a good time. My cousin just came out drunk, and we're trying to take him home. In the bedroom, I am so bored. I hate my mom. She just shouted at me. Post. A hacker, each picture, each photograph, carries with it GPS, geographical locations, time when it was photographed. Each picture carries information. So, a hacker is able to go on social media, and I would know your house. I would know where your living room is. I would know where your kitchen is. I would know where your bedroom is. I would know where, I would literally map out your house just with social media pictures that you have posted. Now, imagine you have created a trend. I am studying that over a year. And you have posted all these pictures. I would know your patterns.
Yeah. Oh, sure. That's what's happening. When people go on holiday, that's what they're supposed to do.
That's what we don't do first.
And that's becoming...
You're telling everyone where you're going.
Yeah.
So with that...
But I'm surprised that the only social media I am on is LinkedIn. I'm shocked that LinkedIn's even being hacked.
So, literally, that is what you are dealing with. So, we have to teach our young people the problems of social media, because, they are creating, there's data mining. They are creating a trend of information over a period of time where I would know exactly their mannerisms, what they are like, what they don't like, what they do. And through that, in the future, this information is going to be out there on the black market for sale.
You know what's happening on the black market, we kind of get scared. It's a lot of stuff happening. And South Africa being targeted as a country with exposed and easy targets.
So,
Thank you.
So really, really and truly, I'm very, it's a passion that we have to develop in more people, and even those of us, we have to get on and make things happen.
Agreed.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited about the opportunity. Now, please go out there, tell everybody we are here. We wanna help South Africa, and we wanna make things happen.